Howdy Summoners, my name is Tia, and today we got a video for all you newer players out there, or even those of you who are just considering starting League of Legends. Every year, Riot implements huge changes to the game with new season updates, and now we're in Season 11. It's a great time, actually no, a fantastic time to learn the game. By the end of this updated video, you'll know everything about the basics of how to play, so hit that sub button and let's catch you up to speed. You'll of course want to play through the tutorial of the game. There you'll learn the basic controls like how to move, how to attack, and all that good stuff. You'll even come to see the most important objective of the game, to break down the enemy's nexus. We'll start by breaking down all of the objectives in League. You can win League in one of two ways. Either destroy the enemy nexus, or wait until your opponent surrenders, in which they destroy it themselves. There are 3 lanes that lead to a nexus. We call these the top, mid, and bottom lane, but we'll talk a little more about them later. For now, just know that every lane has 3 turrets, an outer, inner, and inhibitor turret. You must break turrets in order to proceed to the next one in a respective lane. This means that if you want to break down the enemy's mid lane inner turret, you must break down the mid lane outer turret first. It is not necessary for you to break the outer turrets of other lanes, and although rare, it is definitely possible to win the game by pushing through one lane exclusively. There are also 2 more turrets that protect the nexus. In order to hurt these, you must first break an inhibitor, which is of course protected by an inhibitor turret. Thus, there are 11 turrets total for each team, and you need to break a minimum of 5 to win the game. By the way, if you're trying to improve at League fast, head on over to ProGuides.com. You can get 20% off a subscription using the code RANKUP2021, so don't miss out. Now, back to talking about turrets. Like their name and appearance suggests, turrets are defensive structures that shoot enemies down. Just like you'd expect in a tower defense game, they fend off enemies, most notably the constant waves of minions that spawn throughout the game. Again, more on those later. It's pretty important that you know how these turrets work. They're not gonna just randomly shoot you because you approach them. Turrets shoot one target at a time as long as something is in range. The first unit to walk into its range will be a turret's primary target. Once that unit is killed, or if it walks out of range, the turret will look for another target. One special thing about turrets is they are designed to protect allied players from enemy ones. If an enemy champion deals damage to a player under their turret, the turret will turn its attention away from minions and instead hit that hostile opponent. Next is the order of prioritization. If multiple targets are in range, the order that a turret will decide on its target is cannon or super minions, melee minions, caster minions, and then enemy champions. It's also worth noting that turrets have some special characteristics to them. During the first 5 minutes of the game, the mid and top lane turrets are equipped with fortification, which reduces the damage they take by 50%. This has sort of enforced a meta where 2 players typically head bottom. All outer turrets are also equipped with turret plating for the first 14 minutes of the game. Turret plating breaks a tower's HP bar into 5 parts or plates. With each plate you manage to break, you gain some bonus gold, but also trigger Bulwark, which significantly increases a turret's defense for 20 seconds. This defense scales with how many enemy champions are nearby, and if you take another turret plate within that 20-second duration, it'll stack and reset the timer. If you don't kill plating before the 14-minute mark, it disappears and you can no longer claim that bonus gold. All turrets share the next properties. One effect a turret has is called Ohm Wrecker. This provides armor penetration, prevents enemies from dodging turret shots, and makes successive turret shots to champions deal 40% increased damage up to a cap of 120%. Warden's Eye is another one that allows you to see stealth units or traps near a turret. Reinforced armor reduces damage taken by 66% whenever there are no enemy minions or Rift Herald nearby. Rift Herald is an important jungle monster we'll talk about a little later. Inhibitors are structures protected by the 3rd turret in a lane. When an inhibitor is destroyed, the enemy team's cannon minions are upgraded into super minions. These minions are not only strong, but also tanky. As a result, losing an inhibitor will make it much harder for a team to defend their base. One more time to reiterate, you need to destroy an inhibitor before you can touch the enemy's nexus turrets as well as the enemy's nexus. There will be times where you're trying to end the game but find yourself suddenly unable to because an inhibitor spawns, so be aware of timing. Before we move forward, let's mention our question of the day. Which champion do you think is the most fun to play and why? I personally love playing Lulu. Her kit is really strong, and even when enchanters aren't necessarily meta, I can still find ways to outplay enemies from killing my ADC. Big hearts. But that's enough about me. I want to know what you guys think in the comments down below. The next topic is minions. Minions are a fundamental part of the game. If everybody were to take their hands off the keyboard, there would need to be something happening to progress the game. Minions from both teams walk forward, battle each other, and aim to break the enemy's nexus as well. Every 30 seconds, starting from the 1 minute and 5 second mark, minions spawn and move forward. When slain, they provide some extra gold you can use to purchase items. Even if you don't deliver the last blow, if you're nearby, you gain experience, which can help you level up to gain bonus stats and also upgrade abilities. There are 4 types of minions: melee minions, caster minions, siege or cannon minions, and super minions. Melee minions are the basic ones. They need to get up and close to hit you, but have a decent amount of health. Caster minions are easier to kill but have ranged attacks. Siege minions have the best of both worlds. They're tanky, attack from a distance, and also deal more damage than the other 2. However, they don't spawn with every wave until 25 minutes into the game. For the first 15 minutes of the game, they spawn every 3rd wave, and from minute 15 to 25, they spawn every other wave. Super minions are minions that take the place of siege minions when one team has managed to destroy an enemy inhibitor. They also attack at melee range, but are much stronger and tankier than all the others. Several of them stacked together can end the game without any player intervention. Minions may be simple at the surface, but there's a lot of depth when trying to use them to win games. Make sure to check out the only minion wave guide you'll need, which we recently updated on our channel. You'll learn everything you need to know in that video. Now, let's talk about items. Items received massive changes this season. If you're just coming back from a long hiatus, make sure to look into our channel. We have videos from a few months back covering all the changes. Although there are several subclasses to categorize items, we'll just talk about the important ones. We have trinkets, consumables, mythic items, and legendary items. Aside from these, there are 2 unique starting items to talk about. Junglers and supports have options available to them to make sure they don't fall too far behind. You can purchase a support starting item which will grant you gold for either dealing damage to enemy champions or executing a minion and sharing the spoils with an ally. Junglers have access to either Hail Blade or Ember Knife. They increase the amount of experience they gain from the first jungle camp they kill, and also allows them to upgrade their Summoner's Smite spell after casting it 5 times. There are 3 types of trinkets: Stealth Ward, Oracle's Lens, and Farsight Alteration. Stealth wards are a crucial part of the game. You can place them down and they'll provide vision in an area while they remain active. These stealth wards are invisible but can be found if your opponent has a control ward, Oracle Lens, or some other special way to approach them, like with the item Umbral Glaive. Oracle's Lens allows you to sweep an area around your target for a few seconds. You can see the outline of nearby champions even if you can't actually see them. This sweeper also provides vision of enemy traps and wards, and also disables enemy wards. Finally, Farsight Alteration is similar to a stealth ward as it'll allow you to scout out and provide vision. The cast range is much further, but the trade-off is that your opponents will be able to see the Farsight ward and easily destroy it. There's also consumable items in this game. Health potions, refillable potion, and corrupting potion can be used to restore health to your champion. While regular health potions disappear after use, refillable and corrupting potion refresh charges when you return to your base. You also have control wards. These provide vision like normal wards, but also act to both disable and reveal nearby enemy stealth wards. A control ward has 4 health that can regenerate when not damaged for a while and are visible to players as long as they have vision of wherever they're located. One final set of consumables are elixirs. These provide stat bonuses upon consumption, but only for a limited amount of time. You typically buy one before a crucial fight or if your inventory is maxed out and there's nothing else to spend gold on. The other important items to note are mythic and legendary items. These are typically expensive ones, but the good news is you don't have to purchase them all in one go. You can click on them to see build paths. Smaller, cheaper purchases can be made along the way. What makes a mythic item special is that you're limited to only one. This is something new this season, and it's worth noting that you'll almost always want to build a mythic item. Most champions build their mythic item first because they're effective purchases. Legendary items are also powerful, and if you have a mythic item completed, you gain a bonus stat for each legendary item in your inventory. There are tons of stats you'll be able to gain through item purchases. Most bonus stats are very straightforward, so we'll save you the explanation on those. One thing we'll mention though is this. Previously, there was a stat called cooldown reduction. This has been changed to ability haste this season, but they basically do the same thing. The major differences are that ability haste doesn't have a cap, but is weaker per point. Items are how you get stronger in a game of League. They're all unique and help you get stronger through raw power or because they have impactful active effects. Next up, let's talk about lanes. As we're pretty deep into the development of League's meta game, there are good and bad things. The bad is that, of course, there's an optimal strategy that most players will not only have to learn, but adapt to. But this same bad news is also good news! Yay! It makes it very clear what you need to learn and also provides some structure. We'll give you some generalizations for the role, but don't be afraid to break the mold, and don't be surprised when you see players trying new stuff as well. To generalize, top lane is for self-sufficient champions who need a lot of experience. It's the most dangerous lane because it's long and you're by yourself. Most often you'll see tanky champions or mobile ones that deal tons of damage. Because the lane is longer, champions who need more time to deal damage thrive here. The mid lane is for champions who need solo experience as well. However, this lane is safer, so you can instead put in a champion who wants to farm up and carry later into the game. Since this lane is in the middle of the map, you can also play a champion who likes to move around the map to help their teammates. The mid lane is a versatile role that can be filled by almost anyone. Burst damage is favorable here because the lane is short and turrets are very close by. The bottom lane is your duo lane. This is pretty much mandatory because the bottom lane turret isn't fortified early on. If you don't send 2 bottom, you'll generally be the first team to lose a turret. Typically, you'll send a ranged marksman and a support here. Marksmen rely more on gold than experience, and having a support with them makes it easier for them to stay alive and scale up. These 3 lanes are generally occupied by 4 of 5 players on a team, while the last player sets out to the jungle, a role where a player moves across the map, killing neutral monsters as their source of income. Finally, the jungle is a unique, difficult, but very important role. Between each lane is a ton of space occupied by fog of war and monsters. The jungle is basically split into 4 quadrants, mirrored across the river, a line perpendicular to the mid lane that splits up the map. One side of the jungle has the red brambleback, raptors, and krugs, while the other has the blue sentinel, gromp, and wolves. In the river, you have the rift scuttler, a monster that isn't hostile. However, it's rather mobile and pretty hard to kill. Rift Scuttlers spawn with a 60% bonus shield, but you can immediately destroy this shield by hitting it with a crowd control effect like a stun. It's important to note that Red Brambleback and Blue Sentinel provide buffs when slain. What's commonly referred to as a red buff empowers its owner's basic attacks with a slow and damage over time for the duration. A blue buff provides extra mana regeneration as well as some ability haste. Slaying someone who has one of these buffs transfers it onto you and refreshes the duration. Krugs are golems which, when slain, break into smaller pieces. This makes them time-consuming to finish, but quite rewarding. Finally, Gromp is a unique camp that will heal you when slain. While working through the jungle and killing these monsters, a jungler will also look for opportunities to support their allies. They can look to flank enemies who are pushed up too far or who are low on health. There's also 3 objectives that can be found in the jungle. These aren't like the structures we mentioned earlier, but are considered objectives because they provide direction that players can follow to end games faster. First, let's talk about dragons. There are 5 kinds, 4 elemental and then the elder dragon. The 4 elemental dragons each provide different bonus stats. Elemental drakes spawn every 5 minutes once they've been slain, with the first one spawning 5 minutes in. The Elder Dragon will spawn 6 minutes after it's been slain, but will only begin spawning when one team has defeated 4 elemental dragons. Infernal Drake provides bonus attack damage as well as bonus ability power. Cloud Drake provides cooldown reduction for your ultimate. Mountain Drake provides bonus armor and magic resistance. Ocean Drake heals you for a percentage of your missing health every second. And Slaying Elder Dragon provides a special buff that allows you to deal bonus true damage over time whenever you hit an enemy. Additionally, dealing damage to any below 20% will execute them with an Elder Immolation after half a second. Every player on the team that slays it gets 250 gold, while the player that slays it gains an additional 100. One important thing to note is that the third dragon that spawns changes the geography of Summoner's Rift. Infernal Dragon breaks the walls of the dragon pit and destroys the areas near buffs, removing brushes and creating new pathways through them. Ocean Dragon creates more brushes across Summoner's Rift. Cloud Dragon creates air currents that speed up players who pass through. Mountain Dragon creates new entrances and choke points across the map. When one team kills 4 elemental drakes, they're granted a dragon soul of whichever dragon they killed most. Here are their effects. Internal Dragon Soul. Attacks or damaging spells create a small AoE explosion, dealing adaptive damage that scales with bonus attack damage, ability power, and bonus health. This has a 3-second cooldown. Ocean Dragon Soul. Dealing damage triggers strong health and resource regeneration for 3 seconds. Damage to minions provides less regeneration. Cloud Dragon Soul. Gain bonus movement speed, increased significantly for a short period of time after casting your ultimate. Mountain Dragon Soul. After not taking damage for 5 seconds, gain a shield that lasts until destroyed. The shield scales with bonus attack damage, ability power, and bonus health. Rift Herald is a monster that'll help you break down turrets. When fighting her, she has an eye that opens periodically, and if you can attack her from the back while that eye is open, she takes a significant amount of damage. If you slay her, you can claim her as a buff that replaces your trinket. When you use your trinket, you channel Rift Herald for 1 second and she'll spawn. Think of Rift Herald as a powerful minion. If she gets in range of a turret, she'll ready herself and tackle it, dealing a significant amount of damage. She's targetable as well, so enemy players can attempt to kill her before she crashes into their turret. She spawns at 8 minutes and respawns after 6 minutes. However, she's replaced by Baron at the 20-minute mark, so you won't see her twice every game. Baron Nashor is a crucial objective to close out games. While it's a powerful foe that often requires several members to successfully slay, the buff it provides is game-changing. It provides Hand of Baron, which grants bonus attack damage, bonus ability power, a reduced recall timer, and increases the strength of nearby minions. It initially spawns at 20 minutes and respawns every 6. Aside from the insane bonuses Baron provides, it also awards 300 gold to every member of your team when slaying. Games are often won or lost off of Baron. It gives and it takes, so you should be careful about approaching it. With that said, there are tons of gameplay fundamentals you'll want to learn as well. I heavily suggest you check out our YouTube channel or even check out ProGuides.com to learn more about them. Things like farming, minion wave management, trading, and so much more are essential parts of League of Legends. We have videos covering all of this stuff, and if you need help, we have coaches on our website. Instead of breaking these down for you in this video, I'll instead briefly cover what these fundamentals mean. Farming is something you'll do in every game unless you play support. Minions reward you with gold when you land the killing blow. As a result, players will spend time practicing and making sure that when they do throw out an attack, it'll be the one that finishes off a minion. Minions are quite one-dimensional. They run forward and do the same thing every time. Of course, sometimes they'll go off and do some wacky stuff, but they're basically born to run forward and fight. Players are able to manipulate the position of a minion wave, the size, and also which way it'll go with enough experience. This is something we refer to as minion wave management. Finally, trading is something that all laners will have to understand. It's simply fighting an enemy champion, expecting to take and deal some damage. You work on this pretty much every game you play, as it's inevitable that you'll have to fight your direct opponent. League of Legends scares a lot of newer players away because there's a lot to learn to master the game, but you don't have to master it in order to have fun. Yeah, if after playing the game you do want to still improve, make sure you're subbed to our channel and catch our daily uploads about tips and tricks, meta champs, and patch updates. Also, join our community Discord in the description below. You can make friends with people around your skill level that you can play with. Friends! And even people that can help you improve. Yay! Thanks for watching, everyone. Good luck on the Rift, and I'll see you next time.